The recent wave of Chinese capital has not just been limited to the United States and Europe. China's investment scope is broadening, as Beijing invests heavily in emerging markets such as South America and Africa. Investing in these regions has enabled China to influence countries whose natural resources it needs for economic growth. In addition, another area where China is making significant investments is the Caribbean. This region is becoming increasingly attractive for Chinese investors due to a high return on investments, low wages, low taxes, and access to relatively untapped markets. As a result of this influx of capital, businesses throughout the Caribbean have seen an increase in jobs and opportunities, which can help the region's economies grow. Given that China has become so influential in the global economy, there is a fear that Beijing may eventually be able to take over the world's financial system and gain unprecedented influence. This could have severe repercussions for other countries, as their ability to shape the global economic landscape could greatly diminish. The potential for this kind of financial takeover should not be taken lightly, and we need to understand what steps can be taken to ensure that such an outcome does not occur. One way of mitigating this risk is through careful regulation of investments by foreign entities in vulnerable markets. Governments should also strive to create more open markets which allow local investors to compete with overseas counterparts on an equal footing. Investing in local businesses, rather than foreign ones, will also help ensure that local economies are not overly reliant on outside investment. What prompted China's investment in these regions? In the early 2000s, China aggressively pursued acquisitions in South America, Africa, and the Caribbean to strengthen its global presence. This was done in part to gain access to resources and markets and establish a presence in these regions to counter the influence of the United States. China's investments in South America have been particularly significant. China has invested heavily in the region's energy, infrastructure, and agricultural products. In addition, China has become an essential lender to the area, providing loans to countries needing financing for infrastructure projects. In Africa, Chinese investment has been focused on the extractive sector. China's investments have allowed African countries access much-needed capital and infrastructure projects. Chinese investments in Africa have also allowed African countries to benefit from Chinese technology and expertise. In the Caribbean, Chinese investment has been focused on infrastructure projects. China has provided loans to countries in the region to construct roads, bridges, and other infrastructure projects. In addition, Chinese companies have been involved in developing tourism projects in the Caribbean. Now that we've looked at what prompted China's investment in these regions, let's examine how it has affected the countries involved. In South America, the influx of Chinese investment has had positive and negative effects. On the positive side, Chinese investments have helped to create jobs and stimulate economic growth. In addition, Chinese investments have helped improve the region's infrastructure, which has increased access to markets, goods, and services. On the negative side, Chinese investments have led to an influx of Chinese workers and interests, which has pushed out local businesses and caused a loss of jobs in some areas. In Africa, Chinese investments have had both positive and negative effects. On the positive side, Chinese investments have helped to create jobs, stimulate economic growth, and improve infrastructure. On the negative side, Chinese investments have sometimes been linked to human rights abuses, environmental damage, and the exploitation of local resources. In the Caribbean, the influx of Chinese investment has had positive and negative effects. On the positive side, Chinese investments have helped to create jobs, stimulate economic growth, and improve infrastructure. On the negative side, Chinese investments have sometimes been linked to human rights abuses, environmental damage, and the exploitation of local resources. Ultimately, it is up to governments and citizens alike to be aware of the potential implications of China's financial power and take steps to ensure that a global financial takeover does not occur. We can only safeguard our future from the perils of Chinese economic dominance through careful planning and wise investments. Although there is cause for concern over China's increasing economic influence worldwide, it does not necessarily mean that a global financial takeover by Beijing is inevitable. By taking measures such as investing in local businesses and encouraging competition between domestic and foreign investors, we can ensure that our economic future remains in our own hands. We can protect ourselves from a Chinese-led global financial takeover with the right policies. Thank you for watching. We hope you found this video valuable and informative. Be sure to check out more of our videos on investing and finance.